Yo, what's up guys? It's Schizomanic here, Terrell here. So, I've been meaning to talk about this topic specifically for a bit now and kind of just got lost track of it over the shuffle of like various other videos I was trying to do and the Pokemon reviews because of the struggle that comes with doing all of those. But I finally remembered and finally have time to do it, so we're going to do it. I actually don't have time to do it because I'm about to record some stuff with Tyrone and the rest later, so I gotta hurry up and do this video. Life lesson: you lie a lot as an adult, even if it's unintentional. It's a dangerous habit. Be careful. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about My Hero. My Hero Academia has gotten very popular in the States because it's a very Western-focused kind of manga. Like, the style of it is based off of comic books, and it's very westernized in that style. But the thing I wanted really to discuss was Hirokoshi's writing of My Hero. I think My Hero has really good villains, and really interesting villains that pose interesting ideas about the society of My Hero. Because My Hero is one of the biggest draws to it is its society and how it affects its heroes and its villains. Which is great because it creates diversity and setups for interesting plot points and different types of characters. That's why you can have villains with insane age ranges and insane different problems. Because the villains all come from an issue, from a society where All Might has made quote-unquote everything better, but they're living proof that he is not. And that's why when Stain put his foot in the scene and made himself known, a lot of people got out of the woodworks because he was an inspiration for the other side of society that wasn't really being appreciated or respected because it was all the All Might era. All Might was the greatest, so he held this gold standard. And even though Stain worshipped All Might, he also recognized that All Might wasn't holding society together, or else people like him and the various other villains would have been bored. And this shit is cool as fuck, and the idea that Hirokoshi was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to develop my villains and my heroes at the same time. Shigaraki, we're currently in the manga into some Shigaraki and his crew's development, just like you do stuff with Deku and the rest of the school, the UA school, A and B specifically. Right? Right? Right! That's the crux of today's video. One of the most infuriating things that I've come to realize is that Hirokoshi prefers developing his villains way more than he prefers developing his heroes. And the reason why I say that is over a simple concept that makes me really, really, really miss Naruto. This is shit that Naruto was doing in its first few arcs, and My Hero has yet to do, which is have the characters recognize the society they're in. This drives me up the fucking wall how disjointed the hero-based arcs are from the villain-based arcs. And what I specifically mean by that is this. Give it an example. I'll give you a pure example. Final fight in the internship arc. You have Overhaul, who you've seen in the anime briefly, guy who views quirks as a sickness, and his idea is to pretty much reset everyone back to zero, where everyone has no quirks. Now granted, he wants to do it for the sake of the Mafia, but the idea that quirks are a problem and that they only cause trouble is an interesting concept for a villain to have. That the main power system that everybody has in this world, is a problem, and we need to remove it because it's an issue. That is an interesting thought process for a villain. Why is it that Deku never addresses this in any way, shape, or form? This is so stupid. Look, I have no issue with, of course, because what was Deku's response in that fight when he's talking about all this shit? If I can't save one little girl, then how can I call myself a hero? And I'm just sitting there in the back go, why don't you answer his fucking question? Have some inner monologue. Aren't you supposed to be the smart one, goddammit? These are the conversations I want Deku and anybody at this point in Class A to have, right? I get it, the pros are the ones that are supposed to be dealing with that kind of shit, but these are the future generational heroes, and none of them have really looked at society and went, is what some of these villains saying true to some extent? Is there some acknowledgement we need to make that All Might's era, although was great for us, wasn't necessarily great for everyone? What can we do to improve upon this way of living that All Might set up but obviously did not perfect? None of these things come through the heroes' minds. But see, since the villains are already embedded, are the result of the society, their backstories just kind of show the flaws in the hero society that All Might built up all over this time. Which is what makes them more interesting characters, because they're products of their environment, while we still get to understand their individual quirks, not personalities and abilities both. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, that's the kind of shit that's cool as hell about Hirokoshi's villains. Why doesn't he have his characters have these same, his hero characters, mind you, have this same kind of introspection? The closest they get with this shit is when Deku's trying to figure out how to fight a new fighting style, and he is hit, and I think is it Torino who hits to him, your love of All Might is blinding you. Now this should have led into a whole bunch of other stuff, but what it stopped at as was, why am I only using my fists? What's stopping me from using All for One in other ways besides using punches and shit? Why didn't it keep going? And what makes it really apparent is these villains. You give me these, like with Stain's situation, it wasn't a big deal because the arc was more focused on Ida than anything else, because Deku didn't get any real development out of that. Todoroki's development happened essentially off screen. That was primarily for Ida, and it didn't even do that much for Ida. That was more, the Stain situation wasn't even really for the heroes as much as it was for the future villains of the new era. That's what Stain represented. You went into the damn the camping arc, which was essentially just kidnapping. There was no moral or internal dilemma there. Not involving the Society of Heroes. It all boiled down to saving Bakugo. Then when you get introduced to a really cool and interesting villain who has an interesting idea that he proposes to changing society, even though his reasoning is fucked up for it, the point is, it's an interesting point to make, and why would you, and why he feels that way. Instead of addressing that in any way, it just boils down to, I need to save this little girl, and I'm punching you in the face. What? Even the Gentleman arc, it was the same shit. Where you over the arc, you really like Gentleman, but there was, once again, wasn't really any introspection on Deku/Midoriya's part, because what did it boil down to? Punching him in the, well, that one was better, to be fair, but it wasn't really better because of Midoriya, it was better because of Gentleman. Like, that was probably the closest we've gotten. And then the last arc we've been with them in is the whole A versus B, which just hasn't really been any real development as far as society's going, to be fair. That one arc was primarily for Class B. That's the whole point of that fucking arc. It just bums me out that we're still doing this thing where the heroes feels insanely distant from the society of my hero, when they're the hero characters. The only characters who seem to be dipping their hands into it is the stuff with Endeavor and the stuff with Hawks, which is good shit. I want that to be stated. That is good shit. But why is it that nobody in Class A or B can get into that? Nobody. It's like the school is segregated. It's like the way they want to do this is the school is allowed to do its school-timey bullshit. The pro heroes are the ones handling society's issues, and they're still not going as far as I would like, because they're not the one directly handling the villains. That's what pisses me off. Gentlemen, it was Deku. Chisaki, it was primarily Deku. Like, damn it. You have these cool villains with this cool thought process that can create interesting stories and moments of introspections and can lead to a bunch of character growth. And what does it devolve into? I need to hit you in the face. And I'm like, why? Because, I'll put it this way, even Asta, I know people shit talk the fuck out of Asta in Black Clover. Asta is more aware of his society and surroundings and is willing to make comments and introspection on it more than Midoriya is. And Midoriya, once again, is supposed to be the smart one. And like I said, it's not even just Midoriya, it's in general. Nobody. So to me, it takes me out of the story when you give me these interesting backstories that correlate with the society of my hero, like with the recent Toga backstory we were getting. But then I go back and look at the heroes, and I don't see shit. And I'm hoping to God, and I hate the fact that it's taken this fucking long. I feel like Chisaki was wasted purely because of that. Because Chisaki was a better villain that deserved a better fucking arc. And god damn it, I like that arc. But that arc has some flaws, and it's primarily the end of it that bugs the shit out of me. Because it essentially, I don't mind the shit with Shigaraki and Overhaul at the end. It's the Deku interaction with Shigaraki with Overhaul that drives me nuts. Because it's another case of he presents you with an idea. Because the one thing I will always give Naruto was constantly being either shown the reality of his society and having to confront it. He was doing that shit in the Land of Waves with Haku and Zabuza. It was that early in the fucking series. Regardless of what you think of Naruto now or Boruto, Naruto was very consistent about challenging the thoughts and opinions and mindset of the various enemies he's faced. And he did that pretty fucking consistently throughout the entirety of the series. Even if it wasn't with the final villain, he did it like it was like a good 80 to 90% of the time. And for a series that went to 700 fucking chapters, that's pretty fucking good. But then you got Deku over here. We're almost 200 something chapters in, and they have even yet to look at it. At least address it. I hate that because it's like it's right there. This is why it bothers me so much. It's like here's the door. Here's the fucking door of introspection. Because you can create great story arcs and development for characters who acknowledge the fact that there might be something wrong with the society. I'm cool with them being ignorant for a little while and then being slowly introduced to the problems that All Might society poses. But nobody even addresses that. So it's like the door's right here. And as over time as the series has been going, more and more interesting shit has been piled on the side of this door. So all you gotta do is open it. It's almost bursting at the seams. You're just waiting for someone to slightly turn the handle. You don't even have to turn it full way. And that's how fucking packed to the brim of interesting shit that could be going on. And Deku won't open the fucking door. Ugh. People don't realize this shit drives me up the fucking wall. Because he's so close. And they won't let it, and Hirokoshi won't let him open the fucking door. I don't know. I'm curious what people think about this. That's like the one thing that bothers me about My Hero. It's like, just let him have the I just want... people, it kills me. You have all these characters with these different thought processes and viewpoints, and none of them can have any cool conversation. You'd be so surprised how interesting things can get when you present an idea to a group and see how everyone reacts. Like, if Midori had brought it up in the middle of class, was like, I wonder if Overhaul was right. Do we really need quirks? If no one had quirks, would that be a problem? And then them having a conversation about it. That's also a way to develop characters, because you will get to see how some people would agree and some people might disagree and why they think that way. Then you can have that lead in the backstories and thought process. There's so much shit that comes from that, and all that came from was the fact that the villain had a thought process that challenged the societal norm, and he won't let them have that. Even in Naruto, it slowly changed his thought process. And Naruto started taking things more seriously. He started developing as a main character. And he got better. And he improved. And of course, every character has to hit a wall at some point. That's fine. but at least he was having, shit was turning, the gears were spinning. He wasn't there yet. Even the pain. Why do you think part of the reason why the pain arc was so good? Because pain provided him with a question he literally had to sit there and go, I don't know. That is interesting shit. Because how do you, then the story also becomes not only a physical one, but a mental one. How do you convince or how do you overcome the problem? Because even if you beat pain, if you want to become a man of peace, how do you end the cycle of hatred? That is great. That is so good in storytelling. That's why the pain arc was so good. And he won't let Midoriya get to that moment. Sorry, it drives me nuts, yo. Because he's so close. All of it's there. Literally all the pieces are right there. And he won't let him touch the pieces. I don't know. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, folks. Tell me what you guys think. Jesus Christ. Am I being ridiculous? Am I being stupid? I don't know. But I'm curious. It can't just be me. I'd be curious to hear someone else's viewpoint on it. Because it just drives me nuts. But see what I said there? Listen to someone else's viewpoint. The thing that Horikoshi won't let Midoriya do. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna stop. This has been your boy, Schizomanic Terrell. And remember, you can't have any fun unless you're going just a little bit crazy. Peace.